Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Tevaron here, and welcome back to Aviary Attorney, where we are in the midst of a life and death trial, trying to save Cocorico from vigilante justice. And it's all very touch and go at the moment, so let's focus.
Now, Fontaine, is it true that you are a gun specialist? Well, I hate to brag, but... Yes, I know about guns, their mechanics, their beauty. Have you heard about the revolver mechanisms America is developing? Wonderful stuff.
Fontaine, let's stick to the guns that were found at the scene of the crime. Tell us about those. Before we get to that specifically, I've been thinking a bit while we've been doing this little faux trial here. I want to put forth a hypothesis. I don't think Cocorico killed the croque-monsieur. He was very adverse to guns. May mean nothing, but I think that's the case. I think we may be able to get Fontaine here to examine Cocorico's gun and determine it was never fired, which would get him off the hook, hopefully. But my big hypothesis about the whole situation is I think Valerty killed the croque-monsieur.
Oh, right, very well. This is the gun found on Tevaron Cocorico's person at the time of arrest. It is a standard issue percussion lock. I'm not going to try to pronounce those two words. Pistol. 24 centimeter length, 15 millimeter caliber. Lots of police and soldiers carry these dull things. It's a gun that says, I am a reliable man of the law. That sounds like our Cocorico.
Does it? Cocorico's always told me that the riding crop was his self-defense weapon of choice. It's strange that he had a gun in the first place. All right.
And this is the gun found on the croque-monsieur's corpse, clutched tightly in his hands. It is a turnover pistol, double-barreled, ivory handle, 20 centimeter length, 13 millimeter caliber. This is an exquisite, highly customized gun. It's one of a kind. Whoever used this weapon knew their stuff. The croque-monsieur was a legendary arms dealer. It's no surprise that his personal weapon would be something so flamboyant.
Okay. Is there more information in here? Nope. As usual. Can't hurt to check, though.
But what is really fascinating about the croque-monsieur's gun is the ammunition. See, the bore of the pistol has been fitted with a set of grooves. Please stop, Fontaine. I didn't call you up to hear you show off your gun knowledge. Tell us what you uncovered when you examined the croque-monsieur's bullet wound. Oh, right. Well, a lead bullet was embedded in the middle of the croque-monsieur's sternum and appeared to have a straight angle of entry. So in other words, the croque-monsieur was facing his killer when he was shot. That's right. The other interesting point was that the croque-monsieur's outer clothes were singed. This typically only occurs if a person is close enough to a gunshot to be directly burned by the gun's muzzle flash. And how close does a person have to be burned by a muzzle flash? Less than 3 meters, I would say. 5 at the very most. Then there is no chance that there was a rogue sniper on the rooftops. The croque-monsieur's killer was standing in Rue des Marmosettes themselves. As is plainly evident, only one person was found in Rue des Marmosettes at the time of the incident. Prosecutor Cocorico. Well said, madam. I think you just unequivocally proved this bird's guilt.
I don't think she did. She's taking a whole lot of circumstantial evidence and trying to say it's rock solid. Not so fast. I would like to cross-examine the witness.
I don't think so. You're overstepping your bounds, bird. Let the lawyer try, Remus. When he fails, there will be absolutely no doubt to anyone in the room that Cocorico is nothing but a bloodthirsty murderer.
All right. Are you sure this was fired? That's pretty much the thing Are you sure that... I think that's the line we need to go down? Fontaine, I have a question regarding Cocorico's pistol. Are you sure the gun was fired? Is there any way to tell
whether a gun has been fired recently?
That is an excellent question. Yes, there are a couple of ways. For around a minute after firing, the pistol's barrel is going to be hot to the touch. That's a dead giveaway. But you could also check for gunpowder residue in the barrel and chamber. That would indicate that a gun has been fired since being cleaned.
So, by your own analysis, would you say that Kokoriko's weapon was fired last night?
It's difficult to say. None of us thought to check the pistol's barrel temperature at the time of the incident, so we can't use that method. If I check for gunpowder residue now, I see a little in the barrel. That could indicate a recently fired weapon, but it could also indicate a lack of proper maintenance.
So, basically, you don't know whether this weapon was or wasn't fired last night.
Well, you could pull the trigger and see if it's still loaded. No, monsieur.
If we cannot be certain whether Kokoriko even fired his gun, then this whole trial ought to be thrown out.
Nice try, Falcon, but Kokoriko is still our prime suspect. He was standing over the Croque Monsieur's body with the weapon in his hands. If that gun is not the murder weapon, then what is it?
He was scared for himself and had it out to defend himself.
This isn't working. Try another approach, Falcon. Do you have another question about Kokoriko's pistol?
Yes. Let's ask about the caliber to see if the wound corresponds to the caliber of the pistol. Yes, what does caliber mean? Pardon my ignorance, but I am not a gun connoisseur like yourself. What do you mean by caliber?
A gun's caliber is the width of its internal barrel and the width of the bullets that it fires.
So, you would use 15mm wide bullets for a pistol with a 15mm wide barrel. That makes sense. Did the bullet embedded in the Croque Monsieur's chest match the caliber of Kokoriko's pistol?
I don't know for sure. I didn't have the time nor the equipment to dig the bullet out of the Croque Monsieur's chest.
Well, we do.
Besides, lead bullets fragment. It would be difficult to properly piece together a fired lead bullet to assess its caliber with any accuracy.
Then it's possible that the caliber of the bullet in the Croque Monsieur's chest doesn't match the caliber of Kokoriko's gun.
Do you know that for a fact, Falcon? Or is this just more vapid speculation on your part?
We don't know. I don't want to say no real point, because that would give her ammunition. I don't know if they have the Croque Monsieur's body down here for us to extract the bullet. I know that the caliber could not possibly match.
Interesting. Prove it.
Well, I don't exactly have any evidence. My theory hinges on the lack of evidence that the calibers do match.
Quit your tomfoolery, Falcon. If you make a claim, then I expect you to be able to back it up.
Kind of agree, but a little bit desperate situation here, too.
Madame Beaumort scowls. Do you have another question about Kokoriko's pistol?
No. So apparently we can't use our extractor to remove the bullet and check it. Alright, I don't know what else to question here. Shot in his chest? Maybe? Fontaine, you say that the Croque Monsieur was shot in the chest at a straight-on angle. May I have a diagram? May I have a diagram?
Yeah, let's do that. Dramatic forensic reactions. No, you can't have a diagram, you bloody idiots. I do not have the patience to watch you draw lines on a chalkboard to work out the location of a mythical second shooter. Use your heads. The gunman was standing right in front of the crocodile.
Right, of course. I'm afraid of pursuing the wrong things too far and having her just execute Kokoriko out of hand. Could the bullet have reflected? Is it at all possible that the bullet reflected, bounced off a piece of metal perhaps?
Well, that sort of thing can happen. I've heard of soldiers getting shot in the back from bullets deflecting off cannons and debris and whatnot.
So it could have happened here.
Well, Falcon, are you saying that you actually know that the bullet reflected off of something, or are you just speculating? Well, I'm sort of speculating. If this were an actual court of law, then I would go back into my spiel about the burden of proof being on the prosecutor, but we both know that's not the case here, so I guess the point is moot. It is a legitimate possibility.
It's a realistic possibility. Perhaps the croque-monsieur shot first, and the bullet reflected off the wall behind Cocorico. Or maybe someone else was standing down the alleyway, and they took a carefully aimed bounce shot to frame Cocorico.
Ridiculous. Even the best gunman in the world wouldn't be able to do such a thing. Agreed, not to mention that this theory is at odds with the rest of our established evidence. If either of these stories were true, what singed the croque-monsieur's clothing?
I don't know.
Of course you don't. Madame Beaumont scowls. I think Madame Beaumont scowls is equivalent to you lost favor with the jury. Falcon, maybe you should think before you next open your beak. No. No more questions about the bullet's angle. We're clearly not done here yet, because it's still letting us pick, but his clothes were singed. I guess we can contest the distance?
Fontaine, you mentioned that the croque-monsieur's clothes were singed.
Right. His vest and jacket were slightly burned from the close-range muzzle flash. I would like to see them.
I would like to see them.
What, his clothes?
Yes, bring them out so that I can do a proper examination of the evidence at hand.
Falcon, you idiot, we didn't strip the croque-monsieur down to his skivvies. We took his gun, and I think Pierrot took the change from his pockets, and then we left the body in the alley. Fully clothed, if that wasn't clear.
Well, I see. My mistake.
So that explains why we can't use our extractor. Do we have any other question? Could anything else have caused it? Could the turnover pistol have caused it, maybe? Could something else cause it?
Could the burn have been caused by something else?
Like what?
Ash from a cigar, perhaps?
Well, I guess. Hold on, Fontaine. Falcon, are you saying that you know the burn was caused by something else, or is this just blind guesswork? I'm getting really annoyed at you, lady, because all of your so-called evidence is blind guesswork. You understand the hypocrisy here? Fine, let's just agree with her so maybe she won't get as upset.
I'm just speculating. It's important we cover every possibility.
Fine, but don't dilly-dally on the pointless details. It's getting us nowhere. Well, at least it didn't seem to piss her off, so that's what we'll do in the future. Unless we're certain. No, I have no more questions about the clothing.
Never mind, I have no more questions about the singed clothes.
So it has to be the pistol? That's what we're supposed to question? I don't understand why.
Fontaine, what about the croque-monsieur's turnover pistol?
Tell us about the ammunition.
You were about to say something about the gun's ammunition before Madame Beaumont cut you off. Could you give us the details?
Oh, great. Now he'll never stop talking. I'm glad you asked, Falcon. See, as you probably know, most bullets are just small, round lead balls, right? But that's not the case here. This particular weapon uses an advanced, iron-tipped, aerodynamic, fully grooved. Actually, it would be quicker if I just show you. Take a good look. This is an iron-tipped mini ball. It is very rare, top-of-the-line technology. Before last night, I had never seen one of these in person before. Like I said, the croque-monsieur was a legendary arms dealer. It only makes sense that he would have access to the latest weaponry.
Where did you find this bullet, Fontaine?
In the turnover pistol's chamber.
Okay.
Not sure what that gets us.
Hold on, I'm confused. I thought the croque-monsieur fired his gun, so how is it possible that his gun was still loaded with a bullet?
Well, it's double-barreled.
A turnover pistol is double-barreled. That means that it can hold 2 bullets at once, ready to be fired in quick succession.
Ah, I see. The croque-monsieur fired 1 bullet, but died before he could fire the second.
I trust that you have no more questions about this matter, Falcon. We've wasted enough time already. Where is the other bullet?
Not yet. Where is the other bullet?
What other bullet? The one that was fired. If he was so close to Cocorico, then why did he not hit him?
The fired mini-ball. There were 2 shots that night, remember? One from the assailant and one from the crocodile.
I scoured the scene for a couple of minutes, but I couldn't find it. It's a pity. It would have been great to have 2 of these magnificent bullets.
Madame Beaumont, did anyone find the fired mini-ball in Cocorico's body?
In his body? You're asking if Cocorico was wounded by the bullet? No, that much is plain to see.
So again I must ask, where is the fired mini-ball?
Well, I don't have any clue. What are you trying to get at, Falcon?
Isn't it obvious? If the bullet wasn't embedded in the alleyway wall, and it wasn't embedded in Cocorico, then that means
it was embedded in his actual killer. It hit the murderer.
The bullet hit the murderer, the real murderer. It must still be embedded in whoever attacked the croque-monsieur.
A ludicrous notion.
It makes perfect sense. The double-barreled turnover gun, the missing bullet.
Fine, I'll humor you. Let's say that the bullet did indeed hit the real perpetrator. What of it?
Well, it's only been a few hours since the shooting. Presumably, the person would still have the bullet lodged in them. Find the person with the unique iron mini-ball embedded in them, and you find the real murderer.
That's reasonable, but we don't have time nor resources to search every citizen of Paris to uncover an injured gunman.
You don't have to search everyone in Paris. I believe the murderer to be someone in this very room.
Are we saying Piero, or are we saying the friar? Or whoever Falcon saw skulking, perhaps Judge Romulus? Or is Falcon saying he has seen Valerty? Where's this going, Falcon? Oh, you think we have a traitor in our ranks?
I do. This was obviously a planned attack.
So maybe that's what our detector's for.
Someone invited Cocorico and the croque-monsieur to the same place at the same time in order to create a setup. Only someone with a rebel's connections could engineer such an event.
Well, Cocorico was invited by Valerty, right? Or did he say that Valerty invited him via letter? I can't remember. This is ridiculous. Are you really saying that someone in this room was shot last night? That's clearly untrue.
A bullet wound can be concealed. Perhaps if you were all to take off your shirts.
No, I'm not having everyone in the room stripped down to their knickers just to cater to your outrageous theory. Well, I have something. Can I just... Nope. If you can't think of a more reasonable way to prove your stray bullet theory, then we end this damn trial right here and now.
A more reasonable way? I have a more reasonable way. Hot damn, yeah.
What are you thinking, Falcon?
Isn't it obvious? We have the perfect way to uncover whether someone has been shot. It's a genius solution.
Dun da da! Ah, are you serious, Falcon? You're relying on the invention of a lunatic?
I've never been more serious. Madame Beaumont, Frere Remus, and the members of the court. This device is called an Explorer Extractor. It's the latest in medical technology.
It looks like a children's toy.
I assure you, this is no toy. It was designed to find and extract metal embedment in bodies. A battlefield bullet finder and remover, if you will.
I'm intrigued. So, you're saying that you just swing that device around and it finds a bullet in a person?
Yes, sort of. I don't know. We haven't had a chance to practice with it, really.
Madam, these birds are playing you for a fool. There is no way that such a device exists. We have seen this device work with our very own eyes. Sparrowson shall demonstrate.
Me?
Although he will need something to demonstrate it on.
This. The other mini ball.
Here, we have an iron-tipped mini ball, as presented by Fontaine moments ago. Observe, I placed the bullet in my closed fist. It now represents the fired bullet that is currently embedded in the murderer's body.
Allegedly.
Now, Sparrowson will demonstrate what happens when my hand is scanned with the Explorer extractor device.
So, I just do this and... It's humming and buzzing. Is it really detecting that bullet?
Absolutely.
What an intriguing device. Hey, what would happen if I were to hit the extract right now? Please don't. You would suck a hole right through Falcon's hand?
Please don't. You remember what happened to that steak, right?
My, what is this feeling? It feels like... power!
Don't let it get to your head.
Okay, I'm convinced. Sparrowson, Falcon, you may perform a cursory scan of each of us with that device of yours. You must stop humoring these morons, madam. What good is this doing us? Oh, it's doing us plenty of good. But I suspect you are the murderer, Remus, so it's doing you no good at all. Remus, they may be morons, but this test will grant us certainty of the rooster's fate. I can afford that time. Hey, Falcon, what will happen if the murderer is someone not present in this room?
It most likely isn't.
What?
I'm stalling.
Falcon! Get a move on, you two. I really must express my displeasure that you are going along with this farce, Madame Beaumont. Let us end this trial right here and now. You can get the justice you so crave. Uh-huh. Why are you so scared, Remus? Don't worry, Remus. My patience for this bird brain is wearing thin too. When this asinine scheme of his fails, he will face the consequences. Lackey Bird, scan the rooster first. He is the prime suspect after all. Okay. Nothing? I'm not getting any reaction. That means there is probably no bullet lodged in Cocorico. So, he's innocent for sure. Well, if our theory proves out he's innocent. No, all it means is that this bird was not shot by the hypothetical bullet. Don't forget, this is all speculation on Falcon's part. Madam, I must insist that you end this. It is a fool's errand. We have other matters we must attend to. Mm-hmm. I am getting more and more convinced it's you. Remus, let me worry about our time management. Piero, you go next. Right. Get it over with. No reaction. That means Piero wasn't shot either. No surprises there, right, guys? Let's see. Next we shall test. Madam, I implore you. You're being awfully lippy, Remus. Why don't you go next? Me? That really is not necessary, madam. I don't want to participate in this ridiculous child's game. This is no game, and I'm issuing you an order to cooperate. I'm getting the impression that Miss Beaumont is actually a fairly intelligent lioness, and she's beginning to piece together this stuff too. I think her inability to accept the truth that we're trying to present here is entirely based upon her feelings and desire for revenge, which I can entirely understand, but it seems like she may be willing to be persuaded, so that's good. I refuse. Yep. Piero, please restrain Remus. With pleasure, madam. What are you doing? Keep your filthy talons off me! I will not be manhandled by... Ow, stop that! You're making a mistake, madam! Think a little harder! I have an alibi! I was with you the whole evening! Well, if you didn't have a bullet in you, then you would not be floundering on the ground screaming for us not to scan you. Sparrowson, do the test. Falcon, I'm not getting any reaction.
That can't be right. Do it again.
There's nothing. Frere Remus has not been shot as far as this device can tell. Okay. Well, that just shot our hypothesis to pieces, didn't it? The utter nerve to manhandle a man of the cloth like that. Where's your brother, Remus? As I said on the floor, madam, I was with you and Fontaine for the entire evening. I could not possibly be in two places at once. It's true. You were sitting in my line of sight exactly when the murder was supposed to have taken place. As was I. Right. Fontaine was sitting with us too, so that rules him out. And I know that I didn't perform the murder, obviously. Which means that every suspect has been accounted for. Go sit down, lackey. Your job is done. Miss, I'm beginning to like you a little bit because of your rationality that you've displayed. But you need to show Sparrowson some respect. Because Sparrowson is the best. You got it? You realize what this means, don't you, Falcon? Your little test failed. Your hypothetical bullet theory turned out to be unsubstantiated speculation, pure guesswork. Shall we end the trial, madam?
Wait, there must be someone we're not accounting for. I just know it. There's someone else who could have been the shooter.
It has to be his brother, right? It's the only one. There's people we haven't discovered, too. I mean, the croc could have shot himself, I suppose. Yeah, it has to be Romulus. Or could it be Valerty? Oh, damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it. I can't look at the evidence. I think I'm correct that it's one of these two. It's Valerty or it's Romulus. And I can't for the life of me remember whether Cocorico said that Valerty told him in person or if he said either way. The Cult of Reason. The Cult of Reason. Was that Valerty we heard about that from? No, it was Romulus, wasn't it? It's Romulus.
Frere Remus, how is your brother, the man named Romulus?
My brother? He was forced to flee the country by our oppressive government. Except we saw him not long ago. Well, maybe Falcon and Sparrowson didn't, but I did.
You and I know that isn't true. Your brother is still in France. In fact, I think he's lurking in these very catacombs right now.
An absurd notion. Your theories are getting more and more outlandish, Falcon. Where's your evidence? Oh, I know. I can answer this one. All right, Sparrowson. To the rescue. I found this in the catacomb tunnel. An introductory guide to the Cult of Reason?
Thank you, Sparrowson. Now, Frere Remus, does this pamphlet look familiar to you?
No, I've never seen it before in my life.
Are you sure? Are you sure it doesn't belong to your brother Romulus?
No, there are so many cultists in Paris. Maybe it belongs to one of them. Falcon, I'll take your word that your lackey found this pamphlet in the catacombs. But Remus is right. You have no evidence that the man known as Romulus is the one who dropped it. This pamphlet could have been dropped by anyone. It could even have been dragged in on the soul of Pierrot's shoe for all I know. Wouldn't be the first time. At that moment, a chill ran down Falcon's spine. There was the dread reality. He had no evidence that the manifesto belonged to Romulus. It was just empty conjecture. Madam, please, take my word. The person called Romulus lurks in these very tunnels. You have no proof. But you have my assurance. He's floundering, madam. Agreed. I've heard enough of these rambling theories. Falcon, your respect for your comrade is admirable, and you displayed great valiance by leaping headfirst into the lion's den. Literally. But you have failed to convince me of this bird's innocence. Madam Beaumont, I implore you. Not another word. We humored you. We set up a court and went through the motions of a trial, and now the rooster's guilt has been formally proven. Respectfully disagree? We have more evidence. Enough. The trial is over. Damn it. I bet it's because we came down here without a light. I bet if we'd had a light with us, however we could have gotten it, that we would have seen him. Severin Cocorico, you have been formally tried by the people of the Second Republic. What is the Second Republic? Is that the name of your rebellion, I guess? We have found you guilty on the counts of conspiracy, of the murder of the Croque Monsieur, and of the murder of my father, Jean Beaumont. Madam, please. JJ, it's all right. I've made my peace. This is far from all right. Dying in the name of a new republic, at the hands of rebels. There are worse ways to go. It was good enough for Robespierre, right? Severin. Damn it. I actually thought we had a chance there. Tend to the body, Piero. Yes, ma'am. Do you plan to kill us too? Why would I do that? You two have done nothing wrong. I see no reason for you to be tried, let alone executed. Yeah, I really do like the lioness, as misguided as she is. Your mercy is admirable, madam, but I fear if we let these two go, they will go tell the police everything. It would compromise us. No, we promised to keep our beaks shut, right, Falcon? Ah, but we cannot trust the word of potential traitors. Madam, for the good of France, we must execute the birds right now. Some man of God you are. I hate to admit it, but you have a point, Remus. This is an unpleasant situation. What to do? What to do? Okay, I know. I'm going to give you a choice. You have two options. The first is that I shoot you right here and now. That's not something either of us particularly want. But if it must be done... What's option number 2? You join us. We need lawyers to help bring the new republic into fruition. Your skills would be very much appreciated. Our skills? Somebody has to draft new laws. Somebody has to file the paperwork to secure the new republic's international recognized legal status. Somebody has to prosecute the officials who corrupted this country. Wouldn't that be a glorious job? You mean prosecute the Prime Minister or the King? We can discuss the specifics later. For now, I need to hear a decision. What will it be? Here's the thing. Throughout this whole game, we've not really gotten any information as to whether or not the government actually is corrupt, or whether these people's rebellion is righteous, for lack of a better word. And, I would prefer not to see Falcon and Sparrowson, especially Sparrowson, die. So, we'll join you. Fine, we'll work with you. Good. Then a verbal contract has been made. So, what happens now? Pierrot and Fontaine will lead you to Le Canard Joyeux.
I will finish up here and meet you in 2 hours. Needless to say, they shall be keeping a close watch on you. Don't even think about running.
Of course.
Then we're done here. Fontaine, lead the way.
Yes, madam.
Come along, you two.
You can't seriously be trusting these filthy lawyers, madam. They're probably plotting revenge for their dead friend at this very moment.
I do trust them. Throughout that trial, I got the impression that Falcon was trying to de-escalate the situation, avoid violence. Such a viewpoint is naive, but it is exactly what we need in this revolution.
But they will betray you.
If they are stupid enough to even raise one feather against me, they will regret it. End of Act 3. The game has been saved. Do you wish to continue?
I certainly do.
Though that continuance will need to happen in the next episode. Thank you so much for watching. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, let me know in the comments and by leaving a like below. And of course, subscribe if you'd like to see more in the future. I have been Tevaron, and until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.